All right, welcome back to Flock of Socks, a podcast, episode 201. Today on the show, they tried to kill Trump again. Wait till you hear who the media is blaming. Then we have some very interesting new data from Kamala's rallies that kind of gives you an idea of who's attending. Then in Cringe of the Week, ESPN goes off the deep end with their race-obsessed commentators. And last but not least, in Urban Decay, we show you why fighting with minimum wage workers just ain't worth it, huh? All this and more, it's Fleckus Talks the Podcast, episode 201, ranked the best new podcast of all time!
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words, but at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
It's Fleckus Talks the Podcast, featuring Richard Grab. All right, one for one on the intro, as always. Guys, have you heard the flavored air category is quickly becoming a leading alternative to vaping and smoking? It's a movement towards better habits led by today's sponsor, Fume. Fume is perfect for when you're out and tempted to do one of your bad habits. Maybe you want to bum a bad habit off of a friend outside. We've all been there. But what if I told you there's a better alternative that can help you kick your bad habit that's enjoyable and you can take it with you? That's Fume. Fume draws flavor to your mouth. It's not nicotine or addictive. It's not a vapor, so you can do it anywhere, and it requires no batteries. My favorite flavor is crisp mint. It's very refreshing. Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you can be their next success story. Break your bad habits today. For a limited time, use my code FLECKUS to get a free gift when you order the Journey Pack. Head to tryfume.com, that's TRYFUM.com today and use code FLECKUS for that free gift when you order. Thank you to Fume for sponsoring. Now let's get into housekeeping. All right, thank you to Fume for sponsoring.
Thank you, Fume.
It's very important to get rid of your bad habits. Show watchers know that. That's what show watchers are up to.
Absolutely.
Did you have a nice weekend, Richard?
I did.
Up until the attempted Trump assassination.
Yeah.
Got crazy.
That didn't really derail me either.
Oh,
I was still watching football, worked out. Once I knew he was safe, shots in his vicinity. What does that mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah, no.
But we're going to get to all that soon. I'm feeling good. I kind of have a headache today.
Okay.
I just want to let everyone know.
Shouldn't tell the audience that,
Well,
but okay.
My head hurts. But we have a lot to get to. Obviously, the Trump assassination attempt is going to be a whole page of housekeeping. But first things first, we're going to get to some data from the Kamala rally. Can you read that tweet that sums it up?
Yeah, this is from Tony Saruga on Twitter. He says, GPS, 5,003 mobile devices at Kamala Harris's rally in Charlotte, North Carolina on Thursday afternoon at Bojangles Coliseum. It appears over 3,600 came from Georgia, mainly Atlanta, Georgia, and approximately 720 from Savannah, Georgia. So that's a North Carolina rally with almost 80% of the attendees being from Georgia.
Interesting. And then, yeah, after you do the math, that's only 600 or so local people from North Carolina that attended.
Which North Carolina can be a toss-up state, right? She wouldn't be doing rallies there if it wasn't, so not a good sign for things to come.
But 600? That's all who shows up, and you're planning to what, get 80-something million votes again? And 600 people show up?
Doubt.
Something ain't right. And then all these people come from buses. They have like these buses, these caravans of buses at all these events. And it's kind of weird because at the Trump events, you don't really have like organized buses like that. People just kind of show up and park on their own.
Park in sketchy places. People do temporary lots. People charge to park in their driveway, depending on where it is.
Exactly. But at the Kamala rally, there's just these lines of buses at every event, which is weird. And as you can see here, there they are, the buses in the background.
Notable lack of merch as well. There, you can see a couple with Kamala shirts and stuff like that, but most people are just kind of bussed in wearing whatever they were wearing to go to work that day.
Yeah, that's their job.
So,
and a lot of the people are also the same people that attend multiple rallies. Can you read those tweets?
Yeah, a reply to the original said, any of the same ones from previous event, because this guy's tracking the cell phones, I guess, and he says 90% have been to 3+ rallies, 54% were even at Arizona and Nevada rallies. So far west, you know?
Yeah. So it's all the same people. And as we've said in the show before, Kamala's support is all fake.
Yeah.
It's all contrived. It's all paid protesters and actors and stuff like that. So it's not very real, and that seems to be the proof.
It's not all. Obviously, everybody here has a relative or a person who like, oh, I'm voting for Kamala. I can't stand Trump. But there's a difference between voting against Trump and then going to a Kamala Harris rally where she's going to do a black accent, right? Mm-hmm. And she doesn't have that X factor. So.
Exactly. 90% fake.
Yeah. All right, tone it down a little bit.
You convinced me. 90% fake. All right, speaking of fake black accents, she just dropped a new one after speaking to the Black Caucus.
Hello to all my divine nine brothers and sisters and my sorors. And to all my HBCU brothers and sisters.
Yeah. You think someone would maybe have told her about the voice and how it doesn't really come across as authentic, and maybe, don't lean into your own, don't do so many bits?
Yeah, she's graduated. Now she's doing the voice and then cackling in between the voice. Brothers and sisters, it's like an undercover brother. She's out of a movie or something. So crazy.
Yeah, so there's another one added to the records. And then remember black jobs got Trump into some hot water. Everyone was saying, oh, Trump said black jobs. What's a black job? Mm-hmm. And everyone pretended they didn't know what it meant. Can you read the Axios headline?
Yeah, Trump said immigrants are taking black jobs. Reality check. There are no black jobs because there is not any kind of racial requirement for employment. Black people have all kinds of jobs, from vice president to hedge fund bro to journalist and so on.
Yeah, and then Joe Biden even made fun of Trump for that.
Of course, here's what he thinks of black jobs. I love his phrase, black jobs. It tells a lot about the man.
It tells a lot about the man.
That's when he was still trying to fake it. He still thought he had something at that point.
Using the term black jobs, it tells a lot about the man. So let's hear Joe Biden recently.
In just 3.5 years, we've created over 2 million new black jobs for black Americans and black...
Oh, so he caught himself, right?
He's allowed. He's allowed.
So they're obviously interchangeable, black jobs. Some of them are lower skilled, Have you guys been to some black neighborhoods in America?
And then I think 1 in 3 black men has a felony.
Yeah.
So black jobs are often jobs you can get with a felony conviction.
Yeah. So the same type of jobs that illegal immigrants might come here, lowball you on, and then drive wages down. It's not that hard of a concept, but when Trump says it, they have to attack. When Biden says it, at least he caught himself going, oh, wait, I attacked that. It shows he's got some neurons firing in his brain.
Yeah. He's got a little neurons left.
Yeah. How much percent? 10? 5%?
Like 2.5%.
Yeah, scraps.
2%. And then Kamala had a new word salad over the weekend. The reporter asked her about specifics, like what are you planning to do to lower the prices? And here's how it went.
We talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people. Yeah. What are 1 or 2 specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard. She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager. I grew up in a community of hardworking people, construction workers and nurses and teachers. And I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, but a lot of people will relate to this. I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn, and I was raised to believe and to know that all people deserve dignity.
Wow.
So that's how you're going to bring the prices down? Maybe we could apply that to inflation, too.
Yeah.
Maybe the lawn and you growing up 40-something years ago, maybe that can help.
Yeah. What are you going to do about negotiations with China or Russia? A construction worker lived next to me for 10 years. There's just nothing, no substance, no policy.
When I was 6, I got a bicycle for my birthday.
Yeah.
I used to kind of do that in high school when my mom would ask me about my grades. Yeah. Well, a lot goes into a grade. And as of right now, the number is the number, but there is the potential to exceed that number. And this is actually the lowest the number is going to be, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is college freshman level, padding an essay. It's 5,000-word essay. You wrote most of it, and you found out it's 2,400 words. So you got to go back to the intro paragraph and start stuffing it.
Yeah, and I saw a tweet that was kind of funny. It says, my wife, what's your plan for cleaning out the garage? Well, I grew up in a middle-class family, starting with that. And then some people think that she's like a lizard person trying to appear normal.
Who thinks that? Some person.
Some people think that.
One guy.
And then there is another lizard person in the mix too. Tim Walz' wife. She gave like a weird speech at a rally, and just look at her energy and tell me it's not something that goes with a lizard or something like an amphibian or a
reptile.
A reptile that under like a heat lamp on a rock.
Okay.
Bye-bye, Donald Trump. We are turning the page. 52 days and we are turning the page. 52 days and it is bye-bye, Donald Trump.
Yeah, using a lot of energy to cloak.
And okay, all right. Let's talk about the woman, not the reptile underneath. And I wish we had the wide shot of that because Tim Walz is behind her going like this, like, yeah, clapping like a seal. So he has to embrace however awkward or weird energy she is because Tim Walz is that character. He's not like a stern guy. He's a floppy guy who has to like clap for women no matter what they're doing.
Yeah, he's excited by her. And then we have how Kamala is, everyone's saying it's Kamala.
Yeah.
And everyone's like trying to like be hard about the pronunciation and correct people. Check out this clip. This really sums up what's going on.
The vice president pronounces her first name, Kamala. You mispronounce it. Do you do that on purpose?
No, ma'am. I don't know how she pronounces it. This is the first time anybody's ever told me that. How did I say it?
You said Kamala, and it's Kamala.
Kamala. Okay, well, my last name's Burchett, and I dare say nobody's ever, Sean Hannity's didn't even get my name right when I was on there, and I don't pitch a fit. So it's Kamala? Okay, then I stand corrected. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's big correction. And that's kind of a little thing they do. I've noticed this too. Whenever there's like a new agenda or there's a new front and center thing that everyone needs to pay attention to, they kind of get everyone aligned by making a correction to how it's pronounced. They did that with Ukraine. Remember, everyone used to say Kiev, and now it's Kyiv. And then anyone who's saying Kyiv is like in on it and aligned with the Ukraine agenda.
Yeah, it means you're pliable. They can kind of get you in. They're like, oh, he said Kyiv. We've said Kiev for 40 years in America. Now we can make this guy think whatever we want, right?
Exactly. So if you're saying Kyiv, it's like it shows you're on the team. You're on the team and you are part of their plan. Kamala, Kiev, it's the same little thing they do. It's a little tool they have in their arsenal.
I will push back a little on that, though, because I don't think she's ever said Kamala in her history. So it's a little different. I agree with what you're saying with Kyiv. That was never a thing. But they just get the guy in a in-person interview and make him say it right. So.
Yeah, and they never corrected anyone who said Kamala.
It was like 3 years of Joe Biden and they weren't correcting people. They're only doing it now.
All of a sudden you're mispronouncing a woman of color's name.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like now you're on your heels playing defense. That's kind of why they do it.
Yeah.
The debate from a few weeks ago, apparently, we haven't confirmed this yet, but some people have posted it who are reputable.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's an affidavit of a person who is a whistleblower from ABC who said that there was some conspiring behind the scenes before the event happened. Can you read the highlights?
Yeah, and basically an affidavit is like a signed sworn statement that someone does, but the name right now is redacted, and the person who stamped it, what's that called?
Notary?
The notary is redacted too, so it's kind of like just floating around out there. But they claim to have worked for ABC for 10 years in various technical and administrative positions. And since the acquisition of ABC News in 1996, I have observed significant transformations, all these things. And then they also said, I do not endorse Donald Trump. But they were kind of blowing the whistle. Whether or not this is true, I guess we'll find out soon once it's unsealed or the information's known. But it basically made a bunch of accusations about how ABC colluded with the Kamala campaign. Some quotes from the affidavit say, furthermore, the Harris campaign imposed restrictions on the scope of questioning, including no questions regarding the perceived health of President Joe Biden, no inquiries related to her tenure as Attorney General in San Francisco. That's kind of like...
That's a big one.
An important career moment for her because San Francisco, that would obviously be damaging because America going on the path of San Francisco would be horrible. No questions concerning her brother-in-law, Tony West, who faces allegations of embezzling billions of dollars in taxpayer funds and who may be involved in her administration if elected.
I never even heard of that guy.
Yeah, I know. That's like a let's dig into this guy type of thing. But so, I mean, it's kind of validating some beliefs that a lot of people had when they saw the debate, which was a kind of a 3-on-1, fact-checking Trump, letting Kamala kind of lie and say, oh, I always loved fracking.
Yeah.
Which obviously never happened. So we'll keep you guys updated. It's floating around out there, but it's of a little bit of, it hasn't been fully validated, is a little bit questionable, right?
Exactly. And then the ABC moderator, Lindsay Davis, the one who is the sorority sister, she admits fact-checking was only planned for Trump.
And we said that on the last episode.
Like, oh, you don't say.
Yeah, crazy.
Of course it was. We saw it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the most important story of the day, the second attempted assassination of President Trump.
Yeah.
Can you give this kind of the background, a quick breakdown?
Yes. If you haven't seen it, Secret Service spotted a suspicious individual on the Trump International Golf Course in West Palm Beach where Trump was playing and opened fire when agents saw what appeared to be the barrel of a gun. So I believe the guy never fired. They saw the barrel of the gun and then agents fired at him and they later apprehended him. That's my understanding of it.
Mm-hmm. And then he had a backpack full of tiles on the fence in front of him as a defense.
He had
I guess that's what happens if they try to shoot you, they'll hit the tiles, it'll break. Mm-hmm. He had a GoPro, he was planning on recording it. He waited in the bushes for 12 hours.
It's a little assassination kit, 12 hours. That's putting in honest work to do a dishonest scumbag thing, right?
1 a.m. he got there, and then the event happened at 1-something p.m. the next day.
Crazy.
So that's crazy. Some people were thinking he was tipped off. Because how did you know Trump was playing golf? Although Trump does play golf a lot.
Not that hard of a guess. Let me hang out at Trump International Golf Course and, vibe it out. But
yeah, exactly. And I think that this guy, and I think you probably agree, was radicalized by the media and Rachel Maddow types and all the unhinged Democrats saying Trump's a threat to democracy. Trump is Hitler. We have to do whatever we can to stop him. They made types like this go crazy.
Yeah, he certainly has that look, that skinny, wiry leftist type look. So you want to play this from the media?
Yep.
I talk about the fact that when we swore in finally in January, that we swore to defend against those that are coming against us, whether they are domestic or international. And right now, I feel like MAGA in general, they are threats to us domestically. And we.
So, and this is after, guys, remember, we covered the first assassination attempt. Joe Biden had to address the nation. There was a whole, let's tone down the rhetoric thing. This was from after the Springfield stuff a couple days ago. He's a threat to democracy. So they chilled for maybe 48 hours after the initial one when polling looked bad, and then back to your regularly scheduled threat to democracy programming, right?
And exactly. And then the people say it, and the media just goes, that's right.
Jen Psaki's like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. Not even thinking about what words just came out.
And then we have another example here.
It's just unquestionable at this point that man cannot see public office again. He is not only unfit, he is destructive to our democracy, and he has to be eliminated.
But by any means necessary, Rep. Dan Goldman? What exactly are you getting at?
That's weird. If a Republican said that, they'd be in big trouble.
Yeah.
And then Trump gave a speech a few days ago in Arizona, I believe.
Yeah.
And can you read the quote and then the person who replied to it?
Yeah. Trump, I'm angry about young American girls being raped and sodomized and murdered by savage criminal aliens, which is a statement of fact. That has happened. They've been murdered. They've been raped. And they've been the victim of illegal aliens, right?
Yep.
And then what? John Cryer, the guy from 2.5 Men, made $50 million on one sitcom with Charlie Sheen. He said these are straight up Hitler talking points.
It's isn't that the most basic? Wouldn't everyone agree with that?
Yeah.
Illegal alien criminals are doing horrible things to the children and citizens of this country.
The message is true, but you hate the messenger so much that Hitler.
That you're siding with criminal, rapist, illegals.
Yeah. Thanks, John Cryer.
Yeah, big time. And then there was a tweet from the shooter. His Twitter account was up for a while before it got scrubbed.
It said, at POTUS, your campaign should be called something like KADAF, Keep America Democratic and Free. This was at Biden. Trump's should be MASA, Make Americans Slaves Again, Master.
Doesn't even make sense.
he's so retarded. Democracy is on the ballot and we cannot lose. We cannot afford to fail. The world is counting on us to show the way. So he's just like an ideologue. He's a little cuck boy. He loves Ukraine.
Loves Ukraine. Very politically motivated. Very unhinged. He really takes what the leftist media says and like it really works on him. Like these are the types that they radicalize.
It's called a level 5 susceptible. So when Rachel Maddow's talking at her screen, he's like, yes, he's internalizing it. And the guy's 58 years old. So like you shouldn't be kind of this obsessed about anything at 58 years old. Worry about kids. You maybe have a garden. You're kind of in the, Frank Sinatra called it the autumn of your years.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you don't fucking start shooting the president, right? You're 58.
And then here's a headline about the shooter, and can you read what it says?
The suspect arrested in relation to the shooting at Trump's golf course in Florida on Sunday has been identified as Ryan Ruth, a 58-year-old with unclear political ideology, a criminal record, and a history of praising Iran and supporting Ukraine.
Unclear political motive. Is that what it said?
Yeah.
And then here's his truck.
Biden-Harris sticker.
Looks pretty clear to me.
So he hasn't gotten the Harris-Waltz sticker yet, and I don't think he'll get the opportunity to.
Yeah, exactly. And then after all this, you'd think maybe the media would do the same thing where they take a few days to maybe calm down.
Before they start the Hitler comparisons again, yeah.
But they're right back to it. They're blaming Trump.
What does the fact that he wanted to survive say to you?
It says that he's not he's not suicidal, apparently. He wasn't going to take his own life if he was almost being captured. Clearly, we saw that he was captured without that. And it tells me that he's probably much more politically motivated. The last shooter in Pennsylvania, I don't want to say his name because I don't want to promote him in any way, but he was clearly a guy that was looking for the notoriety of taking that shot. I would think we're going to find that this guy's extremely politically motivated and that he probably was spurred on by much of the political diatribes that are going on these days, talking about Trump, equating him to Hitler and things like that. So I don't think this
Good to hear that on CNN.
Yeah, they admit it.
They had to. And then
you can't really hide. You can't lie. See, you can get away with a certain width of lies, but when something like this, you can't just say the opposite, right? You can't say, wow, I don't know, must have been crazy. Nothing we did.
Yeah. But this next article does try to do the opposite. Trump brings these assassination attempts on himself.
Wow. The Cincinnati.com, the Inquirer. Thank you, Cincinnati.
Yeah, so Trump's rhetoric is what gets people so upset, and then what they do after that is kind of Trump's fault.
It's not on the Cincinnati Inquirer, I tell you that much, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then there's been less security for Trump in general, just because he's not the current president.
Yeah.
So that kind of explains why this is like somehow keeps happening.
Yeah, he's not the sitting president, so perimeter not covered by security. He is the former president, and given the previous attempt, would expect heightened security until he leaves office in January 2029. And I believe that was from the sheriff in the area who was discussing that, the perimeter.
Yeah, and then the...
So 2 assassination attempts. I think we need to check the perimeter, guys. Anybody else agree?
Can't we just like fly a drone and be like, hey, do a drone with like heat sensor? Hey, there's
Thermal
a guy
drone
in the bushes in the golf course.
He needs private security or something at this point. I mean, it's too important to just keep leaving it up to people who are like cutting costs or something or hiring women. We already went through that for the first time.
So
all the
true.
Secret Service gender initiatives.
Need a lady to help.
So just hire, Eric Prince, get some Blackwater guys out there. They can team up. They can work together, right?
They like it.
Yeah, they love that shit. Some of them love you, you know?
They take it really seriously and they have fun, and then they like to put the outfit on and have all the guns and they load them up.
It's fun.
That's good shit. That's who you want. You want people excited, not the girl who's scared to be out there.
Exactly.
Like, oh shit, I can't believe it's actually happening.
Fumbling with a gun, yeah. You want the guy who's killed like 20 people in Iraq or something. And this is a walk in the park to him, yeah.
All right, and then the shooter was featured in a Azov Battalion propaganda video.
Most of the action is to appeal to world leaders.
There he is.
There he is.
Crying, sad face.
And it's weird because Thomas Crooks was featured in a BlackRock video.
Yeah.
And then this guy's featured in Azov Battalion video. And then Azov Battalion and like the whole situation in Ukraine is very much tied in with the CIA. Like the overthrow of Ukraine 10 years ago, the color revolution. It was all like CIA backed and operated. So the entire country is kind of like a slush fund country where you can get your things done and you have like a full country for the CIA and like the black site people.
Yeah, at a minimum, there's a lot of assets in that area, you know?
Yeah, so you can really like get some stuff done over there.
Proxy war with Russia? The CIA goes like this. They love it. So
yeah, so very strange. And we actually have a video of the shooter from years ago, maybe a couple years ago, recruiting people for the Ukraine army, I guess.
I think it was 2022, like about when shit was popping off.
The Ukrainians have a right to fight back.
I don't do paper, though.
I don't care if you do paper or not. I'm looking for revolutionaries.
I-
I'm looking for people who want to take this whole system down.
Bro, I'm a
Okay?
veteran. Like, do you need me?
What kind of veteran are you?
Bro, I served in Nuketown.
Well, I think it's better to serve and fight in the powers, fucking over the system.
Bro, give me a Glock and a Hellcat.
Take a look at this.
Bro, but I don't do paper, though. I just told
Come
you
on,
that.
dude, then get away. We don't need people who aren't serious.
We need to go into the Capitol.
Yeah, very Ray Epps vibes.
Yeah, Ray Epps energy on that one for sure.
Yeah. But, you know, to be fair, you can take a schizo angle on this. You can also just take like an ideological retarded person. Like the type of guy who's 50 plus years old with no military experience and who goes to Kiev to like support the war effort and he's obsessed with Ukraine. That kind of is the same type of guy who might take a lone wolf shot at Trump. Like realistically, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. He also
balance, right? Schizo and then just a retarded person radicalized by the media. There's a range. At a minimum, he's a Muppet, level 5 susceptible who listens to Rachel Maddow and goes, activated, code word clear. and he does it, you know? But, and then on the bottom of the iceberg, right, there is an alternative
And
thing
it could
where-
be both of those things.
Yeah.
And in 2002, he was arrested and got a weapons of mass destruction charge. Don't know how you get out after that.
Yeah, what does that even mean? Iraq had one of those, and then I think we killed 1 million Iraqis.
Yeah.
So he was out?
Yeah, so that was a little weird. And then when it comes to the charges for the shooter, you'd think he'd be in big trouble. But as of now, and maybe this will change, maybe more charges will be added. Can you go over the charges that he has so far?
Yeah, the Associated Press reported Ruth has been charged with 2 federal gun crimes during his appearance in federal court today, possessing a firearm despite being a convicted felon and possessing a firearm with an obliterated serial number. Nothing about shooting or trying to shoot Trump.
And I don't even agree with those things being illegal. That's his
Second
right.
Amendment absolutist.
You shaved that thing off. That's his right.
But yeah, it's unclear why he has not been charged with attempting to assassinate the 45th president, despite clear-cut evidence showing he wanted Trump dead. The AP notes it's possible more charges could be levied in the future. And an additional point, the outlet also noted Ruth showed no remorse for his actions and was seen smiling as he spoke with his public defender.
Some people are saying that because he was like 500 yards away, that it's like you can't really give him the attempted assassination because he was so far away. But he was hiding, waiting for Trump to come to the hole he was on.
Yeah,
and Trump was 2 holes away.
Yeah, just because someone is bad at trying to assassinate the president doesn't mean he can't be charged for it, right? So that's my take.
Exactly. If you have like a car full of bombs and you're driving into the city, but then you get pulled over before you go into the tunnel, it's like, well, he wasn't in the city. Who knows? Maybe he was just carrying these around.
I was just charging these.
And then speaking of schizo theories, this was your idea? Or?
Yeah, I'll take it.
All these people, physiognomy-wise?
Yeah, that skinny, manic, leftist twink physiognomy. That's a certain type.
Easy for a demon to own and operate those.
Yeah, I think you're lighter. Like if you're a 50-something-year-old man and you weigh 125, a demon can susceptible you even more.
That's a good
the
point.
Rachel Maddow spell cast through MSNBC, it really actually, it goes through the screen.
And there's not
when
enough
you're 230
layers.
eating red meat,
there's
nothing
there's
happens
more
to you.
layers. It hits like, and it has to penetrate all these layers. If you're a skinny little guy who like rides bikes or looks like you have cancer, you could probably get scooped up pretty easy. And then that lady was the one who accused Trump of the sexual assault in the dressing room.
Yeah, E. Jean Carroll.
Yeah, so they're all from the same group, maybe the same base model.
Yeah.
We'll get more into that in the last page of housekeeping.
Okay.
And then just to sum everything up, I'm voting for the guy they keep trying to kill.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
That
pretty
makes
easy.
it really easy. All right, well, that's all the updates we have on this guy, the shooter. Make sure you guys use the opportunity to tickle the post, help us juice the algo, leave a like, leave a comment, then comment again, start yapping. P.O. Box needs to be full, notifications need to be on, old episodes need to be watched.
Yep.
People have been telling me that they watch old episodes, like random old ones from when you were sitting a little off to the side. From when
Side
you were
saddle. They
all
call
the way
that
to the
side saddle podcasting.
And then they were saying that we got a lot of stuff right. Like all the things we were saying about the illegals and the crime and everything ended up being true.
Good. And we need the audience to tell us because I can't go back and watch 90 hours of content.
Yeah.
So
we need to hire a show watcher.
Yeah. Ooh.
All right.
Paid show watcher. That's the dream for a lot of you.
paid show watcher. Just find good clips from over a year ago from when we called it. It's not even hard to call it.
I know.
It's like, oh, we're going to bring in millions of illegals. And then we're like, crime's going to go
And
up.
they're going to vote. They're going to eat cats. In Springfield, Ohio in 2024, they will eat cats. Predictions like that.
Or like predictions like they're going to try and cheat in the election because Joe Biden's so incapable. And it's like, wow, how did you know that?
2 years ago? It's like he's been retarded the whole time.
All right, we're in our migrant update section. So basically, we've said the Haitians are eating pets, they're eating cats, and then people were said that's not true. We're going to put this to bed. Yeah. We're gonna end it right now. We have the proof.
Yep. Here's the video from Chris
the
Rufo.
We had to censor it a little bit,
What
but
is this they got on the grill?
Is that the thing kills the cats?
Man, listen, man. There go a cat right there. His ass better get missing, man. Look like his homies on the grill, man. What the fuck?
Yep. So there's the proof. In Ohio, they're eating cats.
Yep. And you know what? You notice how the leftists, when they were arguing about it, they were specifically really, really, really focused on dogs and cats and then like trying to get you to have proof of that. And they kind of just went, shh, don't mention the ducks or geese.
Yeah.
The federally protected geese who are migrating from Canada every year.
Yeah.
They didn't really want to get in a beef about that. And this is just one of those things like, guys, we're going to be even more vindicated. Just have some patience. We're going to have some real Haitian skeletons under a porch, cat skeletons, cooked on a rotating spit. There's going to be some visuals that come out soon.
And to be fair, we're going to play both sides. We are going to be a fair show. A lot of these cats and dogs are also probably used for ritualistic voodoo sacrifices.
Yeah, it's not just eating. It's not just nutritional.
Yeah, not just eating. Yeah. And then also, to be fair, I'm going to be really fair today on the show.
Please.
Don't let the pet eating and voodoo distract you from the fact that the Haitians are also cannibals.
Yeah.
Remember that from a few years ago? Barbecue, that guy.
Yeah, General Barbecue, the whole thing where their president got assassinated. There was civil war in the street, and they were tasting flesh.
And then they had the guy holding the arm, and he was eating the guy's arm.
Yeah, we showed that on the show. Same country.
Don't forget about that.
Same country.
Don't forget about that.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go to our, this is a quick note. President Trump signs the farm bill making dog and cat meat illegal in the United States.
And that was December 2018. So I think,
he knew something was coming.
We called a few things on the podcast, and Trump had a vision there too.
He did. And let's get into this clip. This is another clip that kind of sums it up. This guy's talking about the cats in Springfield. He shows the water tower to prove it.
So I live in Springfield. There's the water tower. A lot of people are asking what's really going on here, and I can tell you that 3 years ago we had a very large population of stray cats, and now they are gone. You don't see any cats. Our visitors are kind of violent, and you'll see them threatening people. They've threatened my family with machetes. It's not a safe place. Most of the stuff that the people are saying to City Hall are true.
Anecdotal, but that guy's not the city manager who ABC News talked to.
The city manager said that's not true.
Let me just rip up this testimonial about being threatened with machetes, missing stray cats, and violent Haitians.
Shows the water tower, and then what? Like, just going to make up a story? And then we have John Legend chiming in about this. Springfield is where he's from.
Yeah, he's from Springfield, but of course he lives in a Beverly Hills mansion now worth, I think, $20 million approximately.
Yeah.
Let's hear him out, right? He could be right. Anyway.
Some facts about immigrants. They usually do very well here. They are hardworking. They're ambitious. They commit less crime than native-born Americans. And they will assimilate and integrate in time, but it takes time.
So,
you gotta give up the cat eating, but it takes time.
It takes a couple years before they stop eating cat meat, right? Thank you, John. Thanks for saying that, John Legend.
And then he later goes on to say that he's Haitian himself.
Oh, yeah, like 1% or something.
But he changed his last name.
John Legend. You're not John Ayabadabla
or Saint something.
Yeah, French, right?
And then he also is talking about immigrants, which is not the same situation. It's like back in the day, people would have to jump through hoops, go through a whole process, become American. They wanted to be here. It took years and years. They had to check in with their sponsors or whatever.
It's self-selective, right? Someone who comes over from India, who does all the paperwork, all the correct things, did it before it was popular, and they do it correctly. Yeah, that person, like the type of person who would do that, tends to be a more successful and motivated person, right?
With no safety net, too,
exactly.
Less safety nets.
We're not talking about 20,000 Haitians airdropped into Ohio or 10,000 people from Senegal walking across the southern border. The people who are like the new era of migrants, we're talking class of 2001. That was a whole different breed. And that's what the data for immigrants that John Legend is talking about is, right?
They assimilate.
And then talking about the crime rates of immigrants versus native-born Americans. Okay, let's start slicing that native-born Americans, right? Let's compare it to the blacks. Let's compare it to the white people. Let's compare it to the Asian native-born Americans. And then you start seeing that even all Americans aren't equal, right? And we're being carried up by a certain segment of the population. That makes it really easy for immigrants to beat the crime rate, right?
Yeah, some groups are outperforming others when it comes to how much crime they do.
And then since the average of a country of 350 million people is here, then anything just below that, that's a great immigrant, right, John? It doesn't make sense, right? There's no critical thinking. This is a virtue signal thing in what is that, 1,000 thread count bathrobe?
Something comfy.
He could have been a little more in touch. He could have thrown on a flannel. That's some comfy shit.
Yeah.
He's lounging.
Can't relate.
Yeah.
And there's a 4chan post that kind of sums it all up, too. Can you give that a read?
Grain of salt, because it's from 4chan, but hey, rings true to me.
Rings true.
I'm in Springfield. They're not contributing as there's no employment base here. Jobs at GFS of McGregor, they're firing Americans to hire on Haitians that work cheaper. That we actually covered in Bonus Land, that factory owner who loved scabs. He loved Haitian scabs. Big surprise. The vast majority of the Haitians are living only on the $500 to $1,500 a month they get from the bennies the government gives them, benefits. Every single Haitian woman is pregnant. They're going to be dropping anchor babies left and right to not get sent back. Our hospital has an over 800% increase in HIV/AIDS cases and a 500% increase in tuberculosis. There are serious car wrecks every single day now, and as the Haitians are driving without license or insurance, there's no recourse. And even if the police arrest them, the court is so overburdened, the courts are just releasing them. Because all the car wrecks, my insurance man tells me the car insurance here is about to triple in price. Housing has gone to be insane, where certain landlords can get $500 per Haitian. So they fill a 2-bedroom house with 10 or more Haitians, where they can get $5,000 a month for the Haitians versus the more standard $650 a month for an American family. Then there's the houses for sale. Little old crack shacks having gone from selling around $30K to $200K for the premium of the housing shortage crisis. Women can't go shopping by themselves, go to Myers or Walmart, and groups of Haitian men are wandering around and following women in the stores and out in the parking lots. Women are scared. Sheriff's deputy told me that retail thefts are up 15,000% from 4 years ago. Again, even if the police arrest the Haitians, the courts let them go.
Yeah, there you go, John Legend.
Yeah. John Legend. Go live with the Haitians, John.
Yeah, you're in Beverly Hills.
They'll assimilate eventually.
Yep. All right, let's get into the next part. Someone said, made a comment on Twitter. We found like a before and after. This person on Twitter was making fun of people who drink raw milk.
Yeah, okay, I'm saying it. Cancel me. Purchasing and drinking raw milk is genuinely stupid. There are no scientifically proven health benefits. You are paying more money for something that puts you at a higher risk for dangerous bacteria. I do not respect your opinion, she says.
And that same person also said this about the mud cookies that the Haitians eat.
Yeah, which we covered last week. In Appalachia, our cultural foods have evolved in the way that they have because our ancestors were poor and starving. Poor white Southerners ate foods that were cheap and calorically dense. This is why we now eat biscuits and gravy, grits, and local vegetables. Many of your ancestors in Europe underwent famine and died of starvation. You did nothing to deserve being born in a time period where that is not the case. So, raw milk, horrible, bad. Haitian mud pies,
cultural,
good. And because white people used to do some dark shit in Appalachia, that's good now.
And it's like the Haitians are eating it now.
Yeah.
You're talking about like hundreds of years ago. And also for the record, my ancestors never ate dirt.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody, well, I can't say actually.
I
can't
can
say.
say we never ate dirt.
No, there's a lot of generations. There's a lot of greasy shit. Who knows how many rapes
But
and
dirt,
stuff back in
dirt's
the day.
never food, though.
You go far back enough, man, people were doing some dark shit. I can't even vouch for not having a cannibal in my family. But the point is, we don't do that shit now, and we don't need that shit in America, right?
Yeah, we haven't done that shit in a while.
You do that when your plane crashes in the Andes, maybe, and you're the soccer team, the Bolivian soccer team. That's it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And then the places that the Haitians are dumped, obviously show watchers know what the plan is. They want more voters. And if you look at the graph, Haitians are being dumped in places where Trump won in 2020.
Yeah. Small red towns, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then I want to make one quick, this is like not a schizo point, and I think it's pretty true. The amount of illegals that are here, so many that the right wing really wants them out.
Yeah.
And to get them out, they might say, oh, the only way to get them out is if we have AI facial recognition, biometric data collecting cameras everywhere, and then we'll scan and we'll find out who the illegals are, and then we'll get them out. And the right wing might be down for that because it'll mean the illegals are out. So there's kind of a way for them to put facial recognition everywhere, AI facial recognition everywhere. And the people who would have opposed it, which would have been the right wing, those could be the people who are kind of cheering it on, which like the bad guys like to do.
Yeah.
They like to get something across, and the people that would oppose it, they like to make it their issue.
They give a little and take a lot.
Exactly. So you might be tempted to say, yeah, let's get AI facial recognition on every corner so we can get all these illegals out. But that's going to be used against us pretty fast.
We have to do it the old-fashioned way. We got to dig them out one by one.
And we got to assume and guess. Anyone who doesn't look normal is an immigrant.
Yeah, they're migrants. You see any migrants in here?
I was born in Milwaukee. You're out of here.
Yeah, you got to talk in a real Southern accent and start looking for migrants.
All right, let's get to my page of housekeeping where I can talk about whatever I want.
Okay.
Last episode, just a funny meme.
Funny
Someone
screenshot.
sent me that, a funny screenshot of me watching the old lady talk to the urban youths about her diamond Cartier watch.
Yeah, it's worth $24,000, and you're showing it off to the ankle monitor dreadlocks guy. Not a good look.
I was kind of just like, someone sent me that. I thought it was so funny. All right, maybe most important story of the show, more important than the Trump assassination.
Yeah, way more important.
New Gorlock the Destroyer just dropped.
And this is, I'd say, Gorlock Jr.
Yeah, Gorlock 2.
See how I stand here with Venus Williams and I'm not fangirling? Very demure, very mindful.
And see how we're here on GMA 3? Very cutesy and very mindful, very demure.
Very demure, very mindful.
You get the point. This pig was a sound on TikTok. That very demure, very mindful became like a trend on TikTok. And it's another trans Gorlock type.
Yeah.
So when they get this fat and you're a man pretending to be a woman, you kind of like merge and you look the same.
Yeah.
So you look just like Gorlock.
Not good for Gorlock 1.
I know. That's eating into the market share.
Gorlock
Big
1
bites.
was in his own lane.
I know.
Human trans bowling ball type.
Yeah. Now there's 2.
Now there's 2.
Good luck. It's like you throw a machete in between them and you say, good luck. Fight for it.
There's one position open. We're hiring.
So
All
keep
right.
your eyes out. Keep your eyes peeled.
Next is they're putting seed oils in everything. Now they're putting them into razors.
Yeah. What, do you want me to read this?
Yeah. Just read
The ingredients? All right. Sodium stearate, propylene glycol, glycerin, water, sorbitol, sodium lauryl sulfate, sodium myristrate, lauric acid, hydrogenated vegetable oil.
So bad.
Yeah.
So you use this shit. They're shaving, like, I think 30% when you shave is like dead skin, and it kind of like cuts your skin in a really light way.
Oh, yeah?
And you're putting like these forever chemicals into your bloodstream.
Yeah.
They're trying to get it in you any
What do
way
you
they can.
suggest?
You use tallow, shave with something natural, maybe.
Straight razor, like an old 1800s type shit?
Yeah, I just use a buzzer. I grew a beard, and that's what I recommend.
Okay, fair.
All right, speaking of shapeshifters from before.
We weren't speaking of shapeshifters.
A few pages ago we were.
Okay.
This next one is very compelling. I think everyone on the show should agree that this rings true.
Michael Cera and who?
Judge Judy.
Oh, I thought it was Nancy Reagan.
I mean...
Wow. You know, I saw Judge Judy once.
Yeah?
Yeah, in Florida.
What was she doing? She probably lives in
She was-
Naples or something.
Yeah, she was leaving a condo. Nice condo.
Isn't that interesting? So it makes you wonder, are these the same base models with maybe just different add-ons and accessories and enhancements? Like kind of like how Toyota and Lexus are kind of the same, but then they add like the special features.
Yeah. All right.
That's it?
Good work. Yeah, I got nothing to add.
Compelling.
Michael Cera and Judge Judy, two different people. For me, that's just the rational take. Their faces are pretty similar. Good find.
Doppels.
Shape-shifting.
We do doppels for a reason, guys. Yeah. And that will be made clear when you'll know when.
You'll know when.
All right. Next is a singer that I'm thinking about signing. I'm trying to create a little stable of talent for my pets.
We were high school sweethearts. Say you couldn't stay cause you had to move away, so we tried long distance. But one day you texted me to say that you wanna break up. I asked why, and you said to me that you found another guy.
Wow. So basically they were high school sweethearts. They went long distance.
Yeah.
And then he got a text and was like, we need to break up. And then he was like, what? What happened? And then I think she found another guy.
Holy shit.
I'm trying to read into the lyrics.
Yeah, no, and there might be a double entendre. There might be some double meaning there. All throughout college, creative writing, the number one thing you heard was show, don't tell.
Yeah.
And I think he's telling, not showing.
Yeah.
Just telling you.
But I believe in him. That's Kyle Tierney music. I'm going to try and sign him, maybe do a collab. Because these types have the ability to go big.
That's talent, baby.
That really is. All right, well, that's the end of housekeeping. We're moving on to Cringe of the Week. All right, our first clip of Cringe of the Week. There was a protester outside of the Project 2025 headquarters.
Yeah, the Heritage Foundation, who came up with Project 2025, and this is what they were up to.
Oh, no. You got to stop. You're going to win so many people over with this.
You guys are totally exposing Project 2025 and the Heritage Foundation for being absolute quacks with your androgynous, male, estrogen-filled fake boobs and the gay black cowboy.
Yeah, with your BDSM outfit, you're naked and trans in the street. Everyone loves naked twinks dancing.
I really hope you guys don't keep doing this because you're totally owning us. You're totally owning the right by doing this.
Yeah, and this is like way better than Project 25, which is so radical. They want to do tax breaks for families.
Oh my God, disgusting.
We need America to look more like this.
More bondage, more leather, more trans stuff, freaks. That's what we need. And
this guy needs to be teaching some kids.
Yeah.
He probably is.
He probably has access. And once again, this is like, who are my political contemporaries? Oh, they're jobless gay guys dancing outside of Project 2025? Or that truck driver who kind of thinks groceries are too expensive? Yeah. What am I going to do, right?
Yeah. Project 25 is too radical because they don't prioritize these people.
Yep.
All right, let's get to our next clip. We're going to go a little fast through Cringe. Not too fast, but, we had a lot of housekeeping on the Trump shooter stuff.
And Urban's pretty long, too.
Urban's long, too. The next is the gender fluid girlfriend.
Since discovering my gender expression and how fluid it is, I've come to a realization that if you want to date me, you have to be okay with the fact that you might wake up to a little boyfriend, a little androgynous partner, or a little femme girlfriend. You might have a boyfriend one day and a girlfriend the next day, depending on how I'm feeling in my gender expression. And I love that about me. I love that I'm not being put in a box anymore. I mean, I think I'm the only one that put myself in boxes, but I'm glad I'm taking myself out of the box and like allowing myself to be more fluid with my gender expression. Previously in the past, I would date people that loved being with a mask. Okay, they were like, I only want to be with a mask. I am femme for mask, 100%. You cannot be anything else. And they loved that about me. They loved that I was androgynous, more masculine. They loved that I would wear chest binders, and that half the time I would be perceived as a boy. I literally dated people who were like, oh my God, you just got called sir. I love that. What do you mean you love that? Because I didn't love that. I didn't love that. I'm non-binary. I don't like being called ma'am or sir, okay?
I'm non-binary.
And then she also said earlier, I love that about me. And it's like, oh, I thought that was your worst, most confusing part. That alluded to mental illness and massive confusion, and probably like your endocrines are probably pretty disruptive.
Yeah, you sound fried.
The chemicals are really poisoning your system.
Yeah. What kind of water do you drink? From a well, local poisoned water well. But basically, the thing is, ignoring all like the non-binary and ignoring the mental illness stuff or the attention-seeking behavior, right? Let's just focus on like this girl, her expectations to be kind of like an open-ended, ever-changing freak to a partner. Like her partner, her boyfriend, her girlfriend, I don't even know who she dates, but like, imagine being someone who just expects you to be drastically different, like from month to month or week to week or even day to day. Like, oh, I like you and I'm committed to you, but you keep switching and you're kind of going nuts and I'm supposed to put up with that. Like there's no stability in a relationship because this person read a little too much hipster literature and now is seeking attention, right?
Yeah, you wake up and say, I'm a boy now.
Yeah, like imagine your wife comes home like, honey, I shaved my hair and I use racial slurs now in public. And it's like, whoa, honey, what? We haven't discussed this. Like there's no respect for your significant other. And that's just putting aside the gender bending, like mental illness stuff.
Yeah, and then the good part is that she's upfront with it.
Yeah,
so like she kind of gives you this spiel, and you can go, "Okay, this is a weird Hinge date."
Yeah, thank you. Should we split the bill?
Yeah.
It turns into one of those things. You're masked right now, so we should split the bill.
But then also, she's gonna probably tell you to vote for Kamala and why Trump's a threat to democracy.
Yeah, of course. But that whole thing, like the just expecting someone to deal with like a wildly swinging personality type is crazy. Like, in what other context could you say? Like, hey, what's up? I'm the guy who mows your lawn. Sometimes I'm really mad though, and I freak out. Like, there's no other world where you can be a drastically different person and just expect everyone to be fine with it, right?
Yeah.
Very narcissistic.
Very, very narcissistic, and also tough to fire that person.
Very hard. Once you hire, very hard to fire. HR discourages you from firing.
And she's the type who would say, "Oh, I'm only getting fired because I'm non-binary, gender non-conforming," and it's like, yeah. That was a big part of it.
Yeah.
You were pretty unstable, and every day you got mad at the customers when they called you the wrong thing when you look like a girl.
Yeah, you were threatening customers every day.
All right, let's get into the ESPN stuff. ESPN, we all know this. No one watches ESPN like they used to.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, everyone watched ESPN. There'd be recaps of games, top 10 plays. The Caddyshack was watching ESPN all day.
Exactly. You'd watch SportsCenter, Stuart Scott, Scott Van Pelt, those type of guys, and they were banging clips. And you know what they didn't do? Offer their opinions on race, gender, anything political.
Never like that. Never political. And also, now that I'm not in the caddy house anymore waiting to go out, no one watches ESPN.
Yeah.
All right, let's watch this first clip, which is Skip Bayless, his show.
And to be fair, I think Skip Bayless left ESPN, but so this is an ESPN alumni doing the same thing.
So here came this white girl from Iowa.
It's on Caitlyn Clark.
And I started watching the WNBA much more closely than I ever had. And I started to think, deep down in my psyche, wait a second, she's really good. But I'll be the first to admit, I felt guilty saying so on TV or on social media. I did not want to look like this red state white guy cheering for this red state white girl. Our country feels split enough racially already. I didn't want to pour gasoline on that fire.
Okay, so Caitlyn Clark is breaking records as a rookie.
Yeah.
She's playing great. She's doing great. She's a huge name from college. It's making like WNBA have way more fans. People are paying attention. And he can't appreciate that or be a fan of hers because she's white. And then he says he feels guilty that he likes her.
Yeah.
So he's guilty. He feels guilty because she's not black.
It's amazing how much it's worked. The numbers they can do on Skip Bayless, this like 80-year-old white guy now at the end of his career, in the autumn of his years.
Yeah, exactly. And like this is like civil rights era rhetoric where it's like, I like Jackie Robinson, but I wish he was.
I just can't come across to rooting for a black guy.
Exactly. It's like the same thing.
Yeah, and then here's Caitlyn Clark has the most games in a single season with 20 points and 10 assists, and that's in WNBA league history. We don't watch the WNBA. We just react to stupid racial commentary from talking heads and seeing the big heavy-set black girl's shoulder, little Caitlyn, sweet little Caitlyn. And, you know, Caitlyn Clark, she probably likes Kamala. She probably does dumb shit. I don't care. If people want to watch her, nobody should feel guilty about it. She's literally breaking WNBA records. How old is the WNBA? 20 years? 25 years?
Something like that.
So you don't have to justify anything if the person's a record breaker and you looked up to her and you watched her all in college, right?
Exactly. But Skip Bayless, he's like, he puts himself in like a Chinese finger trap here, or maybe an Asian finger trap.
Not Oriental. I didn't say that.
An Eastern finger trap.
Yeah.
Where he's gotta like people who aren't white, and then you can't like people if they are white.
Yeah.
So it's like, as long as you're not white, you can do no wrong, and then if you are white, you can do no right.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Skip Bayless is like watching the Caitlyn Clark game and giving those like lashes on his back. He's like repenting.
She hits a 3 like, no, that's bad. That's not good.
But, you know, he's an old guy. Shannon Sharp left him. Shannon Sharp is on his own now.
Yep. And then our next ESPN clip, Stephen A. Smith's show, I believe. They're talking about Tua, who just concussed himself again.
Tua is a quarterback for the Dolphins. He's had many concussions to the point where people are kind of suggesting now that he should maybe retire. So let's play the exchange.
These football players make those decisions every single day as men. Provide, protect. That's our number one priority. That's how most of us think. And that plays a role into the kind of decisions men make, even when they're deemed selfish, foolish, ill-advised, or whatever. It comes with it when you're a man.
Listen, as someone who is a woman who has 2 scars that go from hip to hip because I've had 2 C-sections in an effort to provide for my family and create a family for my family, I understand sacrifice. A black woman in this country whose mortality rates are incredibly high, I understand making sacrifices and trying to mitigate risk when it comes to your family, expanding your family and protecting your family. All I am saying...
She found a way to make Tua's concussion about being a black woman with a higher mortality rate. And by the way,
That's ESPN for you guys. That's what's going on ESPN. I remember we made a joke on the podcast once about like we were at a restaurant and saw ESPN on it, and it was 4 women talking about the NFL. This is basically the extent of it. As a black woman, C-section scars, here's why Tua should or shouldn't play after a concussion.
Yeah, and she's got it so hard. She's literally like a DEI hire black woman on a men's sports commentating show.
Yeah, I don't know much of her history, but if we're going off that clip, I'm going to say she's average at best, right?
Yeah, and then also just to remind everyone, the reason that black women have the high mortality pregnancy rate is because they have higher obesity rates and substance abuse rates.
Yeah.
It's not just like they go to the hospital and they go, oh, what's your problem?
Doctor goes, sorry, got a white patient over here. I'm doing double duty and you're the low priority. Yeah. It's like they have comorbidities. They're violently fat or did something unhealthy during the pregnancy.
At a higher rate than everyone else.
Yeah. It's I'm sorry. Yeah. It's like one of those stats that's like, what, they're killing us? Like doctors just come in and go, all right, every 5th black woman we're going to neglect. Yeah. It's not how it goes, right?
Not how it goes. And then we have Tim Walz talking about football. You know, he's the football coach, but everyone who played football or knows football knows that, like, that's not the type of coach players play for.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that energy. Listen to what he said about football.
Now, I will claim this. I did this on a personal thing. I took football back from him, too, by the way. So, just so we know, we're not gonna have it.
So maybe the new football with all the penalties and the no kickoffs and
the special hats, the Guardian helmets that like really save you from a concussion. That's Tim Walz's brand of football.
Black national anthem.
Yeah, Nick Saban downhill running through the A-gap football. He hasn't taken that back yet.
Exactly. And I want to make a broader point here. You know how single women are mostly Democrats?
Yeah.
And then, like, instead of
college-educated single women, like, that's kind of the worst demographic there is.
Exactly. And instead of, like, winning those people over, we're told to just focus on, like, working-class white guys.
Yeah.
Like,
get white guys to the polls, right?
That's who can, like, come into the polls and win the election. So instead of trying to, like, win over the Taylor Swift people, let's just appeal to, like, working-class men. I think there's another angle here, too. We should make fun of any man who is thinking about voting for Kamala.
Ooh,
just
shame.
call them pussies.
Yeah.
And they are.
I agree.
So it's like there's like another angle there where not only do we need to appeal to men, we need to make fun of any man thinking about voting for Kamala. So anyone who's watching and somewhere on the sidelines goes, well, I don't want to be a pussy.
I can't vote for her. I don't want to be a pussy. They just called them all pussies.
It's like a high school tactic.
I
like
agree.
A high school level tactic.
The boys like banter. The boys like making fun. So I'm all for that.
Me too. All right, we're getting into our Urban Decay section. These first couple are the "it's not worth it" section.
Yeah.
First is there was a shootout at the Detroit Lions football game over the weekend.
What started off as a fun time tailgating here at Eastern Market turned into a tragedy when 2 people were shot.
Everything just went left after a gunshot went off.
Javion Oliver was at Eastern Market tailgating on Sunday. He told me what he saw after that shot rang out.
It was crazy. You see kids that was unoccupied running around, a whole bunch of other stuff. So yeah, it was crazy.
According to police, at around 4:30 in the afternoon, 2 people got into an altercation near Shed 6.
One of the people in the fight, a male from Oak Park, pulls out a gun and shoots at least twice. We're investigating that. 2 people are struck. The person he's going to fight is struck fatally, and a second victim was struck and taken to an area hospital in critical condition.
Shot for a football game.
Shit could get tragic, in Detroit.
You live your whole life, you do all these things, you go to school, you sit in a desk for 12 years or whatever.
Working like a 40-hour work week, homework. Think about all the dues you paid to enjoy life.
Waited online for stuff.
Ugh. And then to get shot at a Detroit Lions game because Baker Mayfield carved up your defense and you lost at home. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so more details about this. The man who was shot was in his 40s. The man who did the shooting in his 30s. So these are like adults who got past the like shit could get tragic age, you know? Wasn't supposed to make it past 25, Kanye stage.
Yeah.
40-year-old man's going to die from this, which I feel bad for. And so this is kind of the like reminder that shit can escalate. It's never worth it when you're drunk and think you're going to, fight or box someone.
About the football game?
Come on, guys. It's not worth it.
It ain't worth it, cuh.
And I'm going to go back to this video here where the chief is making his statement. Who is this guy? In the old Calvin Johnson Detroit jersey with the hat, and he's got the badge pinned on it. Was he undercover, you think?
Yeah.
That's a funny outfit.
And that's a cool undercover job.
Yeah, that's fun.
You got to go watch the game. You got to wear a jersey. You're undercover. You got to see a game. And then if anything happens, you're there.
You're there.
That's kind of cool.
But yeah.
All right, our next not worth it, cuh, is the Walmart fight.
Yeah. Do we want to preface this at all or just let it play?
You can preface it if you'd like.
Well, so this kind of goes with the gas station story that we covered last Friday, right?
The nacho cheese baseball bat.
There was a guy who was working at a gas station who got in an argument with a customer over nacho cheese and then gave the guy a hemorrhage in his brain, a cracked skull, and a bunch of stuff because they got into an argument, right? So with that in the back of your mind, we're going to play this clip from Walmart.
Oh, you're a little nigga. Calm down, nigga.
No, he is, but I'm his mother. How you gonna tell me fuck me?
You're a little nigga. Yeah, I'm a little nigga. Fuck out of here, nigga. Fuck out of here, nigga.
Yeah, so give me the middle finger again.
Gang, get the fuck out of my face, bro.
Give me the middle finger again.
I'm gonna spaz on you, bro.
Go ahead, spaz on me. Go ahead, spaz on me.
Get the fuck out of my face.
Get up.
Yeah. So things are escalating, and I have a feeling he would do something.
He says, I'm going to spaz on you. He called him a little N-word, and he said, get the fuck out of here, gang. And so the main point that we wanted to make that we're discussing is the gas station baseball bat guy. Nacho Cheese set him off.
Mm-hmm.
This woman is kind of talking to this guy as if there's this thin line where a Walmart employee can never attack me. He has to hold himself to Walmart standards.
Yeah, he's not part of the Walton family.
Yeah, he's an 18, 19-year-old guy hired with minimal checks, and he could swing on you. He could do anything.
He smokes blunts before work, and the only thing that's happening that makes him different is he's wearing a blue vest.
The vest, and it's a white T-shirt. Looks a little, out of line. And in this instance, the kid didn't, right? He didn't. They kind of ushered him back, but it was getting close. And then this lady with her son was like pressing him. It's not the time to kind of like test your luck with that thin facade of, oh, this is a Walmart worker who has standards. Because if he swings and you have like a $2,500 dental bill,
he just takes the blue vest off and walks out.
He's fired. It doesn't matter. Yeah, good luck getting him in court. But that's the point. It's like it's not the time to like press your luck against, say, a Waffle House employee or a Walmart guy or the Las Vegas nacho cheese baseball bat gas station guy.
They all fall under the they have nothing to lose category.
Exactly.
Even though they could lose their job, that's
not really a hard one to get.
That
so
doesn't matter.
That's kind of our lesson, right? No fighting at football games. It's never worth it. And don't test end of his rope minimum wage employee. Because shit could get tragic.
That's so true. All right, we're moving on to our next section of Urban. There was an incident in New York City where police shot somebody. Can you read the tweet?
Yeah, this is a tweet from a leftist about the incident, and then we're going to work backwards from there, right? NYPD just shot 4 people for a $2.90 fare evasion. Get these fucking morons out of the subway and take their fucking guns away. This person says.
And then that tweet got 90,000 likes.
And gaining.
And if you might think like, oh, cops probably overreacted. Someone jumped the turnstile and fare dodged. Can't believe they shot 4 people. But then you look into the details, which no one usually does, and you see what actually happened.
Police opened fire on a subway platform in Brooklyn during a confrontation with an alleged fare beater, striking the man cops said was armed with a knife. 2 strap hangers caught in the fray, and one of the firing officers, NYPD officials say. So 4 people got shot. 1 was a police officer. 1 was the fare jumper. And then 2 were stray bullets. And like, that's horrible, right? That sucks. Nobody, those people didn't deserve it. They weren't committing a crime. Obviously, it got greasy, right? One of the passengers hit by the cops' bullets. A 49-year-old man was hospitalized in critical condition after he was struck in the head. So horrible, right? But a little different from the leftist tweet that we just saw.
Like, oh, he jumped the turnstile.
And cops just tried to execute him, right? Danny DeVito, I started blasting. The uniform duo, here's the police. The uniform duo followed the alleged fare beater up the stairs to the elevated L train around 3 p.m. when they gave him commands to stop and turn around. Madry, who I think is a chief or a higher-up commander who was giving the press conference, said during a verbal altercation they became aware of a knife. Body-worn camera footage, which Madry said he reviewed before the press conference, allegedly show the man make a verbal threat to the officers. He told the cops, "I'm going to kill you if you don't stop following me," the chief said. So it's the chief.
Leave him alone. Get the cops out of the subway and let this knife-wielding fare dodger who's pretty easily angered, let him keep cooking.
With a knife.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of a point that we've made on the show a bunch of times during Urban Decay. The fare dodger, that's the tip of the iceberg of their crime. Usually they have child support, they have open warrants, they're using drugs on the train. And then this is just like what happens when you tell cops you're going to kill them with a knife, right? But let's go back to the leftist tweet. NYPD just shot 4 people over $2.90 fare evasion. You kind of skip a lot between the fare evasion and then the shooting, right?
The knife pulling and the threat to the cop on camera.
But this is a mind of a leftist, right? Pulling a knife and threatening a cop's life should be met with nothing. Whoa, you told us off. I'm going to put my gun down. You slide your gun and your badge across to the criminal. What do you think happens, right?
Exactly. All right, moving on to our last story from Urban Decay. There was a trans person, a trans teenager, who the media is saying was attacked. All the headlines say, trans Massachusetts teen seriously injured after allegedly being attacked at a party. Attack on trans teen being investigated as possible hate crime. Transgender boy 16 beaten by large group of teens in Massachusetts. Transgender Massachusetts teen brutally attacked in possible hate crime.
Wow.
So you'd read that and go, oh, damn, like some bullies must have tracked down the trans kid and beat him up for no reason. Then we have a media piece here about it too.
One night, 2 different stories.
1 second I was having fun, and the next second I was on the ground getting my face stomped and beat up.
They were afraid of getting stabbed.
First Amendment attorney Mark Randazza provides legal counsel for teens who say in the moments before Jaden Tkachuk was attacked, Tkachuk brought a knife to a party in the woods.
The story that I'm hearing and the story that video shows is very different than the football team ganged up on some poor kid.
Tkachuk claims more than 30 teens, some of whom were on the Gloucester High School football team, beat him up without provocation.
They were just saying the F slur over and over and over and over as they were punching me and stomping me.
The night ended with a 16-year-old recovering from a broken bone in his face, nerve damage, and a head injury. Tkachuk says he knows why he was targeted.
They don't like me because I'm trans.
And while law enforcement works to determine a motive, both sides disagree on how the case should be investigated.
We absolutely view this as a hate crime.
What is a hate crime about? This was an armed assailant. That armed assailant is now trying to claim that if they hadn't been transsexual, that they would have been left alone to stab whoever they wanted.
Good stuff by Mark Randazzo there, the lawyer.
And that's the thing, too, I wanted to mention. This victim, according to all those headlines, he's out there on the, I don't know who it is, girl, guy, whatever. I don't know what happened there. Victims out there on TV saying, this is a hate crime, this is this, I'm in trouble, all these things. And then the kids who are possibly facing some sort of consequence are like, I better keep my head down, I can't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
So thank God for this lawyer coming out and saying some facts so it's not just a one-sided media swamping, right?
That's usually what happens. The trans person who says that they were a victim of a hate crime, everyone else is just like, and then the trans person is like on offense.
Yeah.
But we actually have some clips here. We had to blur his face because he's a minor and these weren't publicly posted videos, but we actually have some insider clips from people who were at the event, and they recorded the trans teenager right before he got beat up. And here he is with the knife.
Giant knife. Stepping towards people.
Yo, you need a chair. Calm down, bro.
Yelling back the fuck up, pulls out a huge knife.
So that's what preceded it. Look at this shot of the knife. Pretty large.
Huge blade.
But I think it was a hate crime.
Yeah, they attacked him for no reason.
Yeah.
That's how they do it.
So that's the average kind of encounter, right? You see the media, you see the leftist tweet about the NYPD shooting the cops over $2.90. Well, you dig a little bit. Oh, there's a knife and a threat to kill him. And then you hear trans Massachusetts teen seriously injured after possible hate crime, and you go, oh no, there's a knife too. So you got to dig a little these days, right?
He pulled it out at a party and was yelling, back the fuck up.
And then got stomped out, right?
Got stomped out. So yeah, that's interesting how that plays out. And obviously the media is leaning into the hate crime aspect because it's a trans person and trans people can do no wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But that clip adds a little more context. And apparently the mom of the teen is suing everybody who talks about it. So I'll be sure not to answer the door.
Yeah, my address is 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Send it there. So what lessons do we learn from Urban Decay? If you hear a headline or story, you always check if there's a knife. And then 2, it's not worth it at Walmart, the gas station, or the football game, right?
Yep.
De-escalate. We're in an age of de-escalate, right?
That's a good point. And I think people think incorrectly that masculinity is like beating everyone up. Masculinity is actually de-escalating every single time until you don't and you can't.
Until the ultimate escalation.
And then you have to escalate and end a problem. But the more masculine thing to do a lot of times is not act physically.
Absolutely.
All right, well, don't get too down or too depressed. We're moving on to uplifting gold. We have real uplifting stuff today. First is a guy who's standing on a bike, and he rides it around like a surfer. It's pretty cool. There he goes.
Whoa, down the hill? Is he going to get hit?
No, it's just uplifting. Bam, T-bone.
Yeah.
It's uplifting, but also show watchers know that we don't like people who do stunts.
It's also how you do a tib-fib femur 3-piece, all in one, smashed, compound fracture it's called. Out of the skin, pops out of the skin.
Kids don't do that.
Yeah.
All right, next is a guy who's like an engineer type who has a very special way of getting into and starting his van. She's off.
Good stuff.
Good luck stealing that one.
Yeah.
All right.
Can't go on any first dates, though. Your car will never be stolen, but you can't really take a girl anywhere.
That's a good point. Next is a kid who finds a bird in the woods.
Caitlyn just brought a bird from the woods. What do you have?
I don't know.
Was that a vulture?
I don't know what it is.
How in the world did you catch that?
I think it's injured. I was walking down to our fort. Then I saw it run and I chased it. Then it went up in the tree. Then I shook the tree and it fell and it was running. Then I got hold of it and I pulled it to me.
Yeah, it's not a chicken, dude. Quit petting it.
He's caught a vulture in the woods and brought it home.
That story of how he caught it, that showed some perseverance.
Yeah, it's good. That's what kids should be doing in the woods.
Who wanted it more?
Mm-hmm. Next is this is like an iconic clip from last week. Trump was on like some random person filmed him, and they had this moment that was like one of the best memes of the year so far. Kind of scanning around, and then you get Trump. that's he knows he got the shot too.
You can't teach instincts like that, buddy.
That's a great meme. All right, and then our last clip of the show, and our most uplifting clip of the show, and it's actual uplifting. This is Liam. He's from New York, and he's sick, and Trump sent him an 8th birthday special note.
Can you read it? Hello? Sure.
It says, Dear Liam, happy 8th birthday. Mrs. Trump and I hope you enjoy this special occasion surrounded by the love of your family and friends. We are so encouraged by the strength and determination you have shown throughout your young life and send our love and best wishes to you as you continue to fight. Remember, you are never alone, and we are keeping you in our thoughts and prayers for continued care and good health. May God bless you and your family. Stay strong. Sincerely. Can you tell me who signed that? You knew it was your birthday coming up? What do you say to him?
I love you.
What else do you say?
Thank you.
That's nice. Happy
That's
birthday.
crazy. Yeah.
Sad.
That's a good gift.
Good gift.
Yeah.
Glad he got that. And then they're from New York. You're in your thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts.
Yeah.
Classic.
I know that accent.
Get the bagel with a ton of cream cheese. Too much cream cheese. Eat it like a sandwich.
That's right. Well, another Fleckus Talks in the books. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. FleckusTalks.com for a 30-minute bonus land dropping right now. We have a great bonus land coming your way today. We got some murderers. Country music is being taken over by the Twinks.
They really want that scalp.
Yeah, they're getting it. A lot of good stuff. 30-minute bonus land dropping right now. So if you want extra show, that's where you find it. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on Friday.
See, and very mindful, very demure, very mindful.